Hey, how's Logan doing?
Oh, Logan's great. Nice
Hey,
to be back
Logan.
with him. Oh, brother, come on now. Suck it up.
So he's going on 11 months?
It's actually 9 months.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was September is 9 months, so he's just turned 9 months a few days ago.
Okay. He's definitely
He's
a big guy.
Yeah, he's 21 pounds. Oh, but come on now. He's 21 pounds. He's like carrying around a kettlebell
Yeah,
everywhere
and
you go.
a good head of hair.
Yeah, I've been shaving these bits here so that he can have them, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Come on.
Do you think he needs a little bit of attention? Do you think?
He needs to suck it up. He needs to tough life. He just got out of bed.
Okay.
Welcome to reality. He's a little shy. He just got back. So, as you know, I had to take Alana to Colombia.
Yeah.
For a business trip. It wasn't exactly Plan A, but it was Plan C, and we didn't have a better one. So we did. And what the heck? She's an angel. She's easy to be around. She speaks Spanish. So,
Yep.
why not?
So what did you guys do down in Colombia?
Wait, pardon?
What did Alana get to do down in Colombia?
Well, not a whole lot, unfortunately. We left out of Tijuana Airport. Actually, we saved $400 or $500 flying out of Mexico.
Yep.
We went to Mexico City, Bogota. She saw the hotel. She got to ride in an armored car to a villa where a friendly family watched her for a day.
Wow.
Yeah, I tell you what, when I strapped her car seat in that car and watched her disappear into Bogota traffic about 9 o'clock in the morning, I thought to myself, I may have really done something wrong here.
Is Colombia still pretty dangerous?
It depends who you ask, I guess. I think for your average traveler, it's very safe.
Yeah.
The people we were with were a little bit more worried about it than we were. So I'll take their word for it.
Yeah.
And they're the ones who felt responsible for us instead of hosting us. And but it was fine. Alana was a trooper. Her Spanish was great. She impressed every single person at every airport and every Colombian. They just, of course, I had to explain it 10,000 times why I don't speak Spanish.
Yeah.
And how I'm trying. Have you heard of Duolingo? But Alana understood everything that was spoken to her.
Wow.
You could communicate back. She doesn't communicate in Spanish. Like, she doesn't speak as well as she does in English, but she understands it just as well. So she's just a little ways off from being able to speak more Spanish. But and she's an angel. We're at dinner, and there's business associates, and she's just sitting there eating her soup, and they were very impressed. She was the consummate travel partner.
Did she get a chance to play with other kids and Spanish-speaking kids in Colombia?
Just a couple kids at the airport, unfortunately. The house she went to, the children were in school that day, so they weren't at home, which is a bummer. But clearly, Alana can handle herself in an immersed environment.
And it sounds like basically she had to kind of hang out with adult activity, and that was no problem for days at a time.
No, and otherwise I wouldn't have brought her. Alana is capable of doing that. That's what she does here with me. I've always included her necessarily and voluntarily in anything I do, whether that's meetings with people or going to go meet someone or phone calls. Or Alana has by and large learned what appropriate conduct looks like by hanging out with adults and my peers rather than other children.
Yep.
That's why she's awesome. I mean, I could take Alana anywhere. I've always said that, and this time, I had to put my money where the mouth was, and worked out just fine. The Colombians were very impressed.
I was going to say, I think most people would be shocked that your 4-year-old daughter is hanging out in business meetings with you for days at a time without a problem.
Yeah, and we didn't bring her to the the bigger meetings, the conference rooms and things. She stayed with the secretary one time. I mean, Alana, if you give her a pack of pens, a book, and maybe an iPad, and she doesn't need the iPad. The iPad was dead the whole trip back. We had three flights over 22 hours from Bogota back to San Diego, and no iPad. She just sat there, reads, sings to herself, entertains herself, draws, talks.
So to what extent do you attribute this? And I agree, it's phenomenal. I think, my kids were right there as well when they were that age, but it's extraordinary by normal standards. Do you attribute it to genetics? Do you attribute it to the way you're raising her? Do you think that in utero she had a very peaceful, serene setting? And what do you think?
I acknowledge genetics. I think that plays a large role in our lives and our personalities and our aptitudes. Mm-hmm. But I'm not a geneticist, and I don't know if it's 10% or 90%. Mm-hmm. I do attribute it to Alana learning appropriate conduct from adults, not children, at a young age.
Yep.
Being included when she's with me. Mm-hmm. Like if we're in a conversation, like we're at lunch the last day there, and there's a couple of different business associates, and Alana's sitting on the head of the table at the end as we're talking. And at one point they commented, "Your daughter's great," but Alana at the same time she is happy to. I mean, she will be heard and not just seen. She'll interject and say, "Excuse me, excusamente." People look over, mm-hmm. and in broken Spanish and English, she'll say, "Hey, my mommy's name is Marlo. My brother has 2 teeth, X, Y, and Z," and then go back to eating her soup. So being included, letting her know that I value her participation, and then now as she gets a little bit older, turning that down and letting her learn more about when it's appropriate and when's not. Maybe the next leap is talking about like, hey, when we're at a meeting and it's business or it's serious, we should try and talk about things that are on topic. That's right. The next lesson, I think.
Yeah.
But the other thing I would attribute it to is my anti-stroller stance. Mm-hmm. One of my parenting theories, right? This notion that Alana, every time she's ever been out with me, she's never had the option mentally that if she's a little tired or a little disengaged or wants to, veg out or is hot or is sweaty or is hungry or wants to lie down, that there's this magic carpet there waiting for her to insulate her from the realities of that situation.
Yeah.
And she's just had to suck it up, be a trooper, overcome, adapt. And if you're carrying a kid the whole time, they're not going to cry. I mean, what are they going to scream in your ear the whole time? So, Alana has really good emotional endurance. She has good physical endurance. Although the older she gets, the more kids catch up in that regard.
Yep.
And I feel like that's something that contributes to it, is that Alana just is really good at just sucking it up in like any given situation.
It's fabulous. I was recently talking to somebody, I forget who, about how in many traditional cultures, 4-year-olds actually do a significant amount of childcare. That very often, 4-year-olds do a lot of the raising of your younger children. And I think, I often talk about the infantilization of adolescence. But this whole conversation is making me realize we're infantilizing young children. That,
definitely.
Compared to what you're doing, most people infantilize their 2- and 3-year-olds.
Yeah. No, I will say this for my parents, I was not infantilized. My dad had a small place in Hawaii. We had some horses and cattle and got to learn and do those things. I often joke that I learned a lot of 19th century skills, but I did, and those are valuable in many ways. And you learn to suck it up. You learn to see. I knew 4-, 5-, and 6-year-olds that were hands on a horse. I'm sure it's the same way in Texas, for sure. And some of those same people, they have children now, and their children are hands. So, I have a fairly high regard. I always feel like kids are more capable than they've been given credit for. Yep. And we see that around the world. Anyone who's traveled a bit, can see that. And despite living in a rather soft environment here in San Diego, I do what I can to help my kids understand that they're just a lot more capable than they think. And Alana can almost read. Like, she can sit there and read what words and go and go and go. She eats everything that's put in front of her. She's just fun to be around. She's easy.
Yeah. No, and it's interesting. When we got on this call, you said that Logan would just have to suck it up, and I was concerned that he would start crying. But partly you were definitely nurturing, but you also kind of didn't indulge his crying, and willy nilly it worked, and now he's mellowed out.
Yeah, I didn't see him for 8 days.
Yep.
So because Marlo was actually in Hawaii, that's why Alana had to come to Columbia. Is that Marlo had a family event or emergency come up, so she and the baby were in Hawaii.
Yeah.
And then the trip to South America came about, and
Yeah.
Go.
So just on the farm thing too. There's a cool video that I'll probably post if I can find this, of a 4-year-old girl birthing a lamb. Her mom's there helping her and so forth. Maybe it's her dad, but she's pulling the baby lamb, out of the mama lamb.
Yeah.
And she has her, boots on, and she's pushing her boots up against the lambs for her end to, pull a lamb out. And, I often talk about this couple of boys were at 10 and 6 in 1910. A couple of boys rode alone from Oklahoma to New York City. And I really do feel as if we have infantilized, I'm tempted to say almost Americans to a phenomenal extent. I just posted an article on Facebook about how French kids rarely have ADHD. Tiny fraction of the, diagnoses for ADHD in France as there are in the US. And there are all sorts of reasons for it. But I think we need to focus on these subtle aspects of child rearing and figure out why our society is so messed up. So yeah, I think it's wonderful that Alana's there hanging out in business meetings, and it's wonderful that Logan is mellowing out. Hey, Alana, how are you?
Good.
I heard that you went to Columbia.
So yes, I did.
Yes, I did.
Tell me about it. Did you enjoy it?
Yes.
Tell me about it.
What did you enjoy?
I enjoyed the our hotel.
Oh, it was a nice hotel?
Yeah, it was a nice hotel. Alana got to see an awful lot of it, unfortunately. Although Alana did get to see more of the city than me, just by virtue of being driven out to that villa. I didn't get to see much. I really haven't been to Columbia yet, I don't think.
There we go.
But a lot more to see.
I go to a lot of cool places, and basically airports to meetings and back to airport. It's sad. But Alana, I understand you understood Spanish in Colombia?
Sí.
Muy bueno. La gente habla con tú en español y no problema?
Sí.
Yeah, totally. So, I mean, very few people there that we were dealing with spoke English. And, they were very impressed by Alana's Spanish. She clearly understood what was being said. And if you ask them, that she speaks Spanish so well, and it's apparent to Spanish speakers that she understands that when we left the airport, or when we left Colombia, the ticket lady at Aeromexico politely asked me in Spanish, and my Spanish isn't quite good enough. I can check in with my Spanish, but if they're going to grill me about, am I the father, where's the mother, and how do I know that she's not a Colombian citizen that's been taken out of the country?
Yeah.
Because she's a sweet little girl who's, bit brown and speaks Spanish.
Yep.
And here's gringo dad traveling solo. So we got asked questions by the airlines and the customs and things, and it's because her Spanish is so good.
Fabulous.
Like
Fabulous.
They're talking to me, and I don't know what's being said. I got deer in the headlights, and look over to Lana, and she knows what's up. So it's pretty funny. But she did a great job. I've always said this: Alana, having her around is an asset, never a liability, and that's been true for a long time. I mean, at a certain age, at Logan's age, it's hard to have them around on a conference call or meeting, but Alana's an asset, 100%. And very quickly, she'll be translating for me outright, right? I'm going to
help your daddy understand Spanish?
Sí.
Sí. Maravilloso. Maravilloso. Well, in the interest of keeping these short, I will congratulate Alana for your wonderful trip to Colombia and being such a mature young woman. And we'll try checking in again next week.
Sounds good. Thank you, Michael. Take care.
Adios. Bye-bye.
Adios.